Why are the Epstein files still hidden? In this explosive clash, Congressman Dan Goldman corners Kash Patel with one simple question, and what follows reveals more than just evasive answers. It exposes the fight between truth, secrecy, and the powerful people who don't want their names revealed. Stay tuned, because this isn't just politics. It's about whether justice in America is for everyone or only for the few.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from New York is recognized. Mr. Goldman.
Mr. Patel, does Donald Trump appear anywhere in the Epstein files?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
It's not a complicated question. Does Donald Trump appear anywhere in the Epstein files?
I didn't say it was a complicated question. I just didn't hear you, so my apologies. We have released where President Trump's name's in the Epstein files and everybody else, and all credible information that we are legally allowed to release has been released.
All right, so let's go through that. You're referring to court orders that prohibit you from releasing grand jury testimony under Rule 6E. Is that what you're referring to when you say as the law allows?
That's a piece of it.
Really? What other evidence do those three court orders you cited prohibit from being released?
Information that was collected pursuant to those search warrants that were limited in fashion.
Wrong. That's not what the court order says, and that's not under 6E.
And you're talking, and I said that's 6E, and I said there was others, and I'm answering that. There are sealed court order documents. There are protective orders from
They are unsealed as part of discovery given to Ghislaine Maxwell. They are no longer sealed.
That's just not true. We can argue about it all you want.
Okay, well, you agree that there are, so your testimony here is that the reason why you are not releasing all of the videos that you have acknowledged, there are so many, and that the FBI spent thousands of hours of reviewing, the photographs, and the photographs that you have. You're saying that you're not releasing those because there's a court order requiring them to be sealed? Is that your testimony?
I never said that about the videos. On the totality of the videos, of the thousands of images that were seized pursuant to the search warrants executed at the time, the overwhelming majority of that video is pornographic material that was downloaded from the internet and child sexual abuse material. We will never release that.
Well, as you should not release the victims, but if there are videos that relate to others who Epstein trafficked to, such as maybe Prince Andrew, or photographs, that you have total control to release.
Yes, and if it exists.
And so why haven't you released it?
Why are you supposing that that is a fact when in fact it is false? Are you saying that
you're saying that none of the videos relate to anything relevant to the Jeffrey Epstein trafficking ring?
Every single video that we have collected pursuant to the prior search warrants has been examined for the last 10 years. And every single video has been utilized for whatever prosecutions were able to be legally brought.
I'm not asking about prosecutions. I'm asking about why you aren't releasing the full Epstein files, including the names of people who were involved in the sex ring that you promised to do before you became FBI director.
I just told you, I'm not going to release downloaded porn of
I'm
children
not asking
on the
about
internet.
that. Fine. I'm asking about all the other files.
What other videos? Tell me. Tell me.
That's what I'm asking.
Tell me.
You're saying there are no videos that would be relevant to anyone else involved in the Jeffrey Epstein sex ring.
Pursuant to Mr. Acosta's collection of information based on the search warrants. That's all we have in our possession.
And I'm asking you, that stuff.
That's all we got.
I'm not asking all you got. I'm asking you, in that stuff, there's nothing that's related to any other sex traffic, any other people engaged with Epstein in underage sex.
That's correct. To my knowledge, no.
Okay. Let's talk about the witness interviews. 302s of witness interviews. Those are not subject to the court order. Those are not subject to any fictional sealed order for a search warrant. Why aren't you releasing those with the redacted names of the victims?
We are releasing as much as legally allowed. That's why we went back to the courts.
How is that not legally allowed?
Sir, do you know how court orders work? Do you know how protective orders work?
Actually,
Do you know how
Mr.
sealing
Patel,
orders
I was
work?
a real prosecutor for 10 years. I know exactly how.
So I was a
court
fake one?
orders. And I want to understand what the court order prevents you from releasing witness statements that the FBI took.
You should know that as a real prosecutor, when the court hand downs a protective order and a motion to seal, the material is sealed unless that
Your
judge
testimony
waives
here
it.
is that all of those witness statements are under a court order, a protective order.
We are providing everything we can legally provide.
No, that's not my question. My
My
question is, why are those witness statements that are not grand jury testimony, that if they were under a protective order are no longer under a protective order, why are they not being released?
How are they not under a protective
Why
order?
are you not going to the court like you did for the grand jury testimony to unseal those records?
The DOJ did go to the court.
No, not on those records. Why aren't you going? You just went on grand jury.
Time of the gentleman has expired.
You are hiding the Epstein files,
Time
Mr.
of the
Patel.
gentleman has expired.
You are part of the cover-up.
Can I respond?
Sure can.
Any allegations that I'm a part of a cover-up to protect child sexual trafficking and victims of human trafficking and sexual crimes is patently and categorically false, and the work of my
So I hope you will talk to them when they
Gentlemen's
have
time has
requested
expired.
to speak with you. Because
Gentlemen's
the
time has
victims
expired.
have
Gentleman
requested
yields
and you are
back.
not responding to them.
Director, yes or no? Is the
What you just witnessed is not just a fiery back and forth. This is a snapshot of one of the most important and unsettling debates in American political life. How much truth about Jeffrey Epstein's network should the public be allowed to know? And why do the institutions tasked with uncovering it always seem to fall short of full disclosure? Congressman Dan Goldman's questioning zeroed in on an issue that millions of people continue to ask. If Jeffrey Epstein's crimes were as vast and far-reaching as we know them to be, where are the files, where are the names, and why are the documents still hidden? Goldman pressed for clarity, and his line of questioning exposed a gap between what people expect from justice and what they actually get. He challenged Kash Patel on sealed records, on witness statements, on court orders, and on why, after years of investigations, the public is still being told they cannot have access to the truth. Now, Patel's defense was rooted in legal constraints. He referenced protective orders, sealed documents, and the limitations of Rule 6E surrounding grand jury testimony. These are real procedural hurdles, but here's where the tension lies. The public does not live in the world of legal technicalities. The public wants transparency, and every time these technical explanations are given, they sound less like protection of due process and more like protection of powerful people who may have been connected to Epstein. This is what makes the clash so significant. Goldman framed the issue as a moral obligation, the duty to give victims and the public the truth. Patel framed it as a legal reality, that his hands are tied by court orders and statutory limits. But the deeper story here is about trust. When an institution like the FBI insists it is doing everything legally possible, but refuses to release documents that could confirm or deny the involvement of high-profile figures, it leaves the public in a place of suspicion. And suspicion, once seated, grows into distrust, not just of individuals, but of entire systems. What also shouldn't be missed is the human cost. Behind the heated words and political theater are real victims, some of whom have publicly pleaded for their stories to be heard and their abusers to be named. Goldman invoked them in his questioning, reminding Patel that the survivors themselves have asked for transparency. And when those pleas go unanswered, it's not just a political scandal, it's a moral failure. So here's the bigger lesson. This exchange was never really about one committee hearing or even about Kash Patel. It was about the collision of law, politics, morality, and power. It was about whether truth in America is something the people are entitled to or something that must always be negotiated, redacted, and filtered through institutions that already stand accused of failing the public. And that's why this matters far beyond the walls of Congress. Because if the Epstein case proves anything, it's that secrecy breeds suspicion, and suspicion erodes democracy. Transparency is not just a buzzword, it's the foundation of accountability. Until those files are released in full, the questions will never go away. So the next time you hear talk about the Epstein files, remember, it's not just about one man's crimes. It's about whether justice in America can withstand the weight of truth, even when it threatens the powerful. If you believe accountability shouldn't have exceptions, then these moments in Congress aren't just theater. they're a call to action. Pay attention, stay informed, and keep demanding answers, because only public pressure can force the doors of secrecy open.